Welcome to GwinnettPrepSports.com. Todd, Cline, and Will Hammock here talking football. Will, and this week, got a couple of weeks under our belt. Going to talk about Region 7 and kind of the up and down nature of it so far. We've had some good wins, some tough losses, and some teams losing earlier than we expect them to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of works in progress out there. There's some teams I think that'll be really forces towards the end of the season, maybe some teams that really started off well so far. It's going to be interesting. I think one thing that you can always say about Region 7, I think that's going to hold true again this year, is that there are more playoff caliber teams than there are playoff spots. So I think you're once again going to see at least one team that's a playoff caliber team that's not going to make the postseason this year.
And start off talking about the teams that we consider the favorites, Norcross and North Gwinnett. North had a good win to start the season, a tough loss this past week, where Norcross had a couple of good wins, but maybe not as dominant as they would have liked.
Yeah, I think both those teams are traditionally the teams that have kind of run this region the last several years. They've won a lot of ball games, certainly played each other for the state championship last year, so that says what they've accomplished. And I think Norcross, you got to look at a couple of victories. You can't really complain about that as a much better start than last year, but definitely a work in progress over there with graduating so many seniors, 60-plus seniors off that team last year. A lot of new faces in the lineup, but certainly a lot to be encouraged with. They threw the ball well on offense in the first game, ran it pretty well in the second game. I think the defense is going to be very athletic as usual. I think there's a lot to be excited with Norcross. For North Gwinnett, I think a lot of things to work on the defensive side of the ball. They've proven they can score a lot of points, score enough points to win some ball games. Definitely need to tighten it up on defense. Obviously, McEachern was very good, but then letting North Cobb come back, Tyler Queen's a very good quarterback, but let North Gwinnett come back like that, or North Cobb come back like that and beat the Bulldogs. So it's kind of a tough way to lose that game.
And you mentioned how kind of wide open and how talented this region is. I think Peachtree Ridge served notice with their win over Archer that they're a team to be reckoned with. And Mill Creek got that offense going this past week, and they can be a tough out for anybody as well.
Yeah, I think Mill Creek's got to be considered one of the favorites in that region as well. There's a lot of talent. The loss to Colquitt County that they had, certainly not a very bad loss by any means. They were right there with Colquitt there until the end. And I think they're going to be factored into the region title mix, not just a playoff berth. I think Mill Creek's that good, certainly very good. And you got to look at Peachtree Ridge, what they did to beat the defending Region 8 champs this past week. A great start for Peachtree Ridge. A lot of good young talent on that team. They're going to be here to stay for the next couple of years. And then Collins Hill had a great effort against Central this past week. I think Collins Hill is going to factor into the playoff mix. Mountain View will be a lot improved. So very much a tough region over there in Region 7.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Please check us out again next week at GwinnettPrepSports.com for more Talkin' Football.